Alright. Welcome to another video. In this one, we are gonna go sort of back to the roots and do something basic, something for newer players. I think there are still quite a few new players joining the ranks, and I get almost daily messages from new people asking, top tips, how to grow, what to do, what not to do, etc. So I made a video. Top 10 common mistakes, things you do not want to do, and their contrast, things you do want to do. Infinity Kingdom as a city builder, war game styled, whatever it is, community builder game. You It got all the basics, if you're familiar with Rise of Kingdom or other games like that, it kind of looks the same, right? You build your castle, you build your armies, you upgrade your immortals, your heroes, your fighters, you compete against gnomes and PvE instances, as well as other players in big scaled alliance attacks. It's essential to stay ahead of the competition to maintain as high a growth rate as possible in the beginning. The bigger you grow, the faster you grow, the more impact you will have in the game. Now, that goes for anybody. I mean, obviously, the more you spend, you can kind of skip ahead. But as free-to-play players, or as low spenders, mid spenders, or whatever kind of tier you are, you want to still keep doing everything as efficiently as possible and not make some of these common mistakes. So this kind of goes out to everybody starting out, no matter what kind of a player you are going to be. All right, before we head too far into the actual top 10 mistakes, you're gonna get a bonus mistake to make, and that is if you do not take advantage of the campaigns, you will be spending inefficiently. Infinity Kingdom for spenders is all about getting as much value as humanly possible, and you do that by using the campaigns that are available to you. Using the Huawei campaign, using Huawei's AppGallery to purchase gets you 20% back on all purchases, and it really saves quite a lot in the long run. You spend $1, you earn a flower, you redeem them for coupons, and you get 20% back on the big ones. It is all in the information available on the campaign, links down below, and it is a very good way to get as much value as humanly possible. What you want to do is go ahead and download the game from the AppGallery app. Check the description in the video on how to download, access the campaign, etc. Join up on the Discord server. There are people in there who are more than willing to help you out setting everything up and getting ready. If you are having any troubles, you might not need that because it is very simple. You spend via the AppGallery app and you get access to the campaign, and you just get flowers and coupons back and earn a lot of nice stuff as you spend. More value out of the same dollars. Very good. Now let's have a look at the top 10 mistakes. For number 10, Mysterium. Once you've unlocked the Mysterium feature in Infinity Kingdom, you want to make sure that you do it every 2 days. It gets to be quite a grind, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it gets to feel pretty forced in the end. I mean, when you've been doing this thing for 2.5 years or something like that, it gets pretty damn boring. But the rewards are extraordinarily good, and you just want to keep doing it. It is a very, very good source of speedups, of gold, a bit of resources, a lot of artifact fragments, and with the newest version, you also get unique artifact fragments when you hit Season 3. That will be later on for all of you starting out, but just know, Mysterium, you want to do it every 2 days. Don't forget about it and don't neglect it thinking, it's not that much gold. couple million gold, 4 million, whatever is what I'm getting, maybe 1-2 million at low levels. That makes a huge difference to get every second day, and you need all the gold. Believe me, you're gonna be needing a lot of gold. In addition to that, just the speed ups, you want to bank them as hard as you can, because you will be needing a lot of speed ups once you get into some of the more PvP centered content as well. You need those healings and training speeds. Mistake number 9, missing out on free event rewards. This is a basic thing, but it needs to be listed. There are a ton of free events across Infinity Kingdom. Everything from kill a couple gnomes, remember to kill your 20 gnomes and 5 bosses, to the redeem event, to the spender event where you spend your gems you have banked to get the maximum value out of them, because you get these redeem ancient silvers in return. City expansions, infernals where you grind your gold. Look up my guides on grinding infernal marches. The next video I'm gonna make is for infernals, but it's probably gonna be a bit high level for you guys for watching this video. But I think I have some old stuff on the IK wiki as well, which will apply to newer players. End of the day, all of these juicy free rewards stack up, and it makes a huge difference. So don't neglect them, even if you are a spender, even if you are a big spender. Don't think, it doesn't really matter, because it does. You need every advantage. Mistake number 8, not focusing on your dwellings. This goes back to gold again, and yes, gold is a theme in Infinity Kingdom because gold is your valuable resource. In the beginning, probably until you reach something like Conquest Season 1 or 2, so for the first, a year or something, purple crystals are going to be your go-to resource, right? And the thing that you just can't get enough of. But eventually you will max that out, but you will still be needing gold. I think there are a few huge whales in this game that doesn't need gold anymore, but I'm not even sure there is anyone done with gold yet. Gold is very important, and dwellings is a very underrated method of getting them. The production gets to be quite high, and you want to make sure that when you upgrade a castle, new castle level, get your dwellings up there. Don't neglect them, because you will lose out on a lot of gold. Also, if you do have if you spend just a little bit, or maybe you're a mid spender, you can get a lot of value out of the gold buff. It costs you gems, so you need a steady intake of gems, but it is probably, in my opinion, the best value you can get out of gems. Either it's VIP points or it's this gold buff. Mistake number 7, keeping immortals that you do not use. So some players play this like it's Pokemon. You want to catch them all, you want to get them all, and you want to max them out in star levels. So these crystal star, whatever, diamond things. Don't do that. You will need a lot of purple crystals. So of course you can melt them down and get these crystals, but you don't want to do that for everything. Keep the immortals around that you're thinking, I might move into this. Look up some of the tier builds, look up some of the builds that have been dominant in the meta throughout the years, and see that you're probably gonna go through a somewhat similar progression journey when you go rise in power. As a new player, you're gonna maybe skip a few steps in the meta, but it's gonna in general look the same. So take a look at the best builds so far and see what kind of immortals do you need for that. Are you a earth spender? You want your battery and your earth setup? That's great. Do you build a hybrid? That's great. Do you build fire? Whatever. It's great. Just keep the important immortals and get rid of everything else. Melt it down and use the purples. But keep the fragments for the stuff that you really need, and melt the rest. Don't just keep a random I don't know, a random Dido or random YSG sitting there on 5 or 6 stars just because you think it's nice to look at and you want to upgrade every immortal you can. You're going to be wasting a lot of gold and you're going to be short on purple crystals. What you want to do instead is melt that down, keep a few key immortals, and then upgrade your main march as high as you can with purple crystals. Alright, mistake number 6. Melting down maxed skills. So while melting down skills may seem like a very good idea, and it is certainly something that I've been doing and I did as we progressed through the years, I did that multiple times, and it was quite often mistakes. So you only get 80% soul crystals back whenever you melt something down. That means that you are losing quite a lot of soul crystals. These are just gone and you're never going to get them back. Now, of course, if you have maxed something that you know you're never going to be using, you've checked out, the later game builds for the kind of setup and march that you have chosen to run, then fine, melt it down and max out the other things that you have and need. But really, really be careful about it. I mean, I remember melting down stuff like lifelink, thinking I didn't really do as much as it should have, ended up getting it back. Also blue skills like root, skills like instigation, skills like chase and the fire novas and concentration. God, I actually melted down concentration when we got access to some of the epic stuff because I thought they were just better. Boy, was I wrong, and I had to go back and spend more crystals on. All these things are setting you back. So again, do check out the guides for later in the game. Use them and really melt with care. Mistake number 5, invest in and upgrade the wrong skills. So this is kind of going down the same path, but it is just underpinning how damn important it is to spend your purple crystals right. Because as much as a mistake it is to melt down a skill you're going to be needing later on, it is just as much a mistake to be upgrading a skill that you won't be needing later on. Demon Body, for instance. Some people sometime in the meta, I don't remember when this was, maybe a year and a half ago or something like that, thought Demon Body, this is awesome. It applies wounds. It's great. This is a counter to the damn annoying Earth Xenomarch, maybe even countering Holy with Theo. They were wrong. This is terrible. It's a very terrible talent, and just don't do it. And how do you know if something's bad or good? You check out the build guides. Go ahead, check out some builds, see what kind of skills come and go again and again, and more importantly, what skills are never there. Right, mistake number 4. Using gems too liberally without planning. Now this obviously applies to you non-mega whale. If you are starting out Infinity Kingdom and you want to just hammer out $100,000 in your account eventually, then go nuts, spend your gems on whatever you want. But for everybody else, you want to really spend them carefully. So gems are scarce and you need to stack them and bank them and spend them wisely. You can spend them during the spender event if you can stack that up with a KVK season ending. So you spend your gems on these divine chests or whatever chest you get depending on where you end up. That is great. That's awesome because you get a lot of value out of spending your gems then. But you also want to consider spending gems on VIP points. At the very least, get level 10. At VIP level 10, you get 1 Philosopher's Stone instead of a Philosopher's Stone shard every single day. I'm at day 1000 and let me just check, 1040 right now. That's maybe 1,000 days of Philosopher's Stones every single day. That's awesome, and that will help you out a lot as you progress through Infinity Kingdom. So if you are a light spender, even if you are a free-to-play, make sure that you bank your gems and spend them to get at least VIP level 10, and do not underestimate the other VIP levels. The buffs are massive. Mistake number 3, not waiting for helps. So this is a basic one, but an extremely important one, because many players are making the mistakes of not waiting for all the helps. It takes a little while. All my alliance mates gotta press that help button and get it up to 30. I'll just spend my boosts or my gems or whatever and just finish it a bit faster, right? Don't do that. You need your speed ups. You're never gonna be, eventually after you've played for 3 years, you may be overcapped on speeds, but save them up and spend them wisely. Don't let anything speed up without having the full helps received. At a decent alliance level, you get 1% for whatever you are building, plus 300 seconds. So that's amazing. For this giant Swift upgrade build, it takes 21 days. I'm getting 6.5 days in free speedups. It's free speedups. That is, of course, also using the technology speed buffs. All these mayor positions. 3% may not seem like a big deal, but it is in the end. Make sure that you take advantage of helps, and make sure that you use all of the mayor positions around the map. Mistake number 2, using speedups on too many things. So another common mistake is to sort of use your speedups on any and all things. While speedups can be very helpful, they should be used wisely. It's important to save universal speedups for technology development, preferably, or for PvP combat. If growth is your main focus, use all of your universal speeds on technology, because you won't be finishing out technology you're gonna be building technology way past you've upgraded your last buildings. So don't use all your universals on that. In the short term, getting a new tier of troops can be very, very good for you, but in the long term, growing with universal speeds on technology gets you much further ahead. If you are a PvP focused player, if you don't really care that much about growth speed, but more need to be competitive in IB League or whatever, save your universals and healings for training and PvP. You need a lot of universal speedups to compete at the highest level of IB Prime League, so do bear that in mind. And of course, a KVK season, stuff like that, you will be needing a lot of healing and training speeds, so you may want to bank your universals for that as well. Mistake number 1. The biggest mistake I've seen people make growing in Infinity Kingdom. Not buying into production tech to start with. I have seen so many whales and big spenders and small players and all kinds of players who've been saying, no, I don't need this production because I need more power. I need more fighting power. And that's great. That's fine. But you're gonna be losing out. People doing production tech first is gonna catch up to you in a week or 2. It is a massive difference. Rapid progression alone gets you 30% speed on technology research. You get more resources, you get less costs, you get fewer speed up users, you get building reduction speeds, you get all these juicy things from production, and you need to prioritize that to begin with. Once you're done with production, or at least as high as you can in the important nodes, being technology, buildings, and gold. Whenever you got those maxed, move on, do some troops. When you reach sort of the milestone in troops, go ahead and do some of the Immortal tech, get that up there. Prioritize uh, troop count technologies, and neglect defense entirely. I cannot emphasize how important it is to not go all in on troops and immortals to begin with. As a new player in Infinity Kingdom, growth is critically important, and production tech is how to do it. I remember the first server I started out in, we had some huge whales who was really complaining about how he was spending so much money, and I mean, even light spenders were beating him. Some free-to-play players could compete with him, and it was because he was spending basically 30% more on everything. So even low spenders could outgrow him quite quickly. That was, of course, 2.5 years ago. The game has changed a lot since then, and whaling has become, sadly, a lot easier. Or, well, at least a lot more powerful. But it doesn't change the fact that 30% is massive. That gold is massive, the building speed is massive. So production is very, very important. That was everything I had for you new players. My take on the top 10 most common mistakes. I hope that maybe you're thinking all of this is basic stuff. Then that's great. You're on the right path. You can always reach out in the arcade Discord and ask for more advanced stuff. Maybe you watched this and thought, hey, I didn't know that, or I was about to do this. Then I hope that this helped you out. I am Myrak. I'm from server 105. You can find me there. You can find me on Discord. You can find me on IKWiki website or here on YouTube. Take care. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one. As always, please do subscribe to the channel. I consistently release new content here on the IK channel and on the official IK Wiki website. Links are in the description. On these channels you can find guides from everything in IK, from events to talents, passives, finished builds, and game mechanics. With that, I'm gonna leave you, and as always, thank you for watching, and see you for the next one.